Welcome back, Truth Seeker. August 10th, 2019, the first day of Tisha B'Av. And in the headlines, a shooting at a mosque in Oslo. And as soon as I saw this, I said, well, what have I been saying since March 15th, 2019? That the New Zealand Christchurch shootings were a ritual synced up with the dates of Tisha B'Av, which is August 10th and August 11th. And recall, they said the Christchurch shooter, he had brief contact with Anders Breivik, who was the Oslo bomber from July 22nd in years past. So you see how they've done this? They encoded the numbers of Tisha B'Av in the New Zealand shooting, which were 2 mosque shootings in Christchurch. Of course, Tisha B'Av's to remember the destruction of the 2 temples. They said he had contact with Anders Breivik, the Oslo attacker, and now here we are on Tisha B'Av, and we get an Oslo mosque shooting. Now look at how they've encoded this. Recall, Christchurch, New Zealand equals 108, like geometry. Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, means geometry in language. 108, very special number, but Christchurch, New Zealand, 108. Here we are on August 10th, 10/8, like 108. And you get another mosque shooting. And notice Christchurch sums to 69. Today's shooting's actually just outside of Oslo, even though they're putting Oslo in the headlines. It's in the little suburb of Behrendt, Norway, which equals 69 as well. Keep in mind, false flag equals 69. Behrendt, Norway also sums to 156 in Gematria, like false flag sums to 156 in Jewish Gematria. We're on Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av sums to 911, which is the 156th prime number. You know, patterns we've talked about for years since the beginning. Of course, September 11th, 911, the destruction of the 2 towers, not far off from the 2 temples, which are remembered on Tisha B'Av. When you write out 33, it also sums to 156. And notice false flag, police, secrecy, masonry, order. They all equate to 33 as well. Again, that's why you got to know the base ciphers plus Jewish Gematria. The site that was attacked today, says right here, a gunman was arrested after shooting at a mosque in Norway, according to police. 1 person was injured during the attack at the Al Noor Islamic Center in Behrendt, around 20 kilometers from Oslo. Police said the gunman was a young white man who appeared to have acted alone. You know, it was a young white man in Christchurch as well. But Al Noor Islamic Center, it sums to 118. And remember, the Christchurch shootings were both in the 8011 area code. August 11th, 118, 811. Tomorrow's the second day of Tisha B'Av. If you've not been following the headlines, there's something circulating within Islam, and the word's been out that the Al-Aqsa Mosque might be under attack tomorrow. So in circulation among Muslim communities, Muslims have been asked to gather at Al-Aqsa Mosque tomorrow to protect the mosque from a possible attack during Tisha B'Av. And a part of me wonders if this is due to the work that I put out last September 2018. Tomorrow they're calling on all Muslims in the area to gather there to protect the structure, to keep out Jewish communities. Again, there is a Zionist plot to destroy Al-Aqsa Mosque to build the 3rd temple. But you just got to say, what are the odds? 118 encoded, the same number we've been talking about since September 11, 2018, when we first said to circle this weekend. And what did I say? You know, what did I say? The target would be Islam. So it still remains to be seen what happens tomorrow, but no doubt this is a further evidence that I've been right on the money with regards to what I said last year, September 2018. The name Al Noor Islamic Mosque also has gematria of 89, like religion, like chaos. For the record, the Masonic agenda is order out of chaos. Today, August 10th, is the 222nd day of the year, leaving 143 days remaining. We'll come back to the 222 in light of order out of chaos in a moment, but with regards to 143, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry equals 143. The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is what controls government, media, police worldwide. Bayroom, Norway's 57. Scottish Rite's 57. Norway Mosque, how they phrase it in the headlines. Norway Mosque shooting. Norway Mosque. 57. And the date of the Christchurch shooting was March 15th, 2019, a date with 57 numerology. Today, August 10th, 2019, a date with 57 numerology. Same old numbers. They give you this quote in the article. He is around 20 years old in regards to the shooter, a Norwegian citizen from the area. Assistant Chief of Police Rune Skold said. And notice how his name sums to 141. Remember, 811 is the 141st prime number. 811 like August 11th, the second day of Tisha B'Av. And Al-Aqsa Mosque is also 141. Been talking about this all year. The incident at the mosque took place, Lee, shortly after 4 p.m. local time on Saturday. Remember, 4 is associated with death. The day before the celebration of the holiest Islamic holiday, the Feast of Sacrifice. Irfan Mushtaq, a board member, told Norwegian media that members of the congregation had overpowered the gunman who was wearing a uniform and helmet. The man carried 2 shotguns, like weapons and a pistol. He broke through a glass door and fired shots, Mr. Mushtaq told TV2. The victim, who suffered minor injuries, is believed to be a 75-year-old member of the congregation. Remember, they said 75. Police initially said that he had been shot, but later said it was too early to say if the wounds were caused by the gunshots or sustained during the attempt to restrain the gunman. As if those wounds would be anything alike. There has been a shooting episode inside the mosque, the Oslo Operations Center announced in a tweet on Saturday afternoon. A perpetrator has been arrested. The police are at the scene. Nothing indicates that there have been more people involved. According to the mosque website, the building is equipped with 2 large prayer rooms on the first floor and rental apartments on the second and third floors. It implemented extra security measures earlier this year following the massacre of more than 50 people at 2 New Zealand mosques by a suspected right-wing extremist. Of course, they said to circle the date March 15, 2019 before it rolled around. They said look for one of these New World Order incidents. Sure enough, it came. And again, after it happened, I showed immediately how it was synced up with Tisha B'Av. And here we are. By the way, that name Mr. Mushtaq, 113, like Scottish, like Oslo, Norway. With regards to the victim being a 75-year-old, order out of chaos is 75 and 222, like how today's the 222nd day of the year. Order out of chaos is also 78, like Scottish Rite. Regarding Al-Aqsa Mosque, I just want to remind people about the ritual with it earlier this year. On the same day that Notre Dame burned, Al-Aqsa Mosque burned, the 3rd most important holy site in Islam. And again, those 2 sites are connected by the Knights Templar. The leader of the Knights Templar was burned at the stake in front of Notre Dame, and during the Crusades, the Knights Templar captured Al-Aqsa Mosque and referred to it as Solomon's Temple. Solomon's Temple is what's remembered on Tisha B'Av. Solomon's Temple and Herod's Temple are the 2 Jewish temples destroyed. The Knights Templar referred to Al-Aqsa Mosque when they captured it during the Crusades as Solomon's Temple. From the day that Notre Dame and Al-Aqsa Mosque burned, April 15th, to August 11th is 118 days later. 118 again, just like how the mosque shot up in Norway today equals 118. And let me show you again the information from the Christchurch incident. So, both mosques that were attacked on March 15th their address ended Christchurch 8011. And again, the second day of Tisha B'Av, August 11th. And the addresses of the two mosques attack were 101. Again, 101 is important because it was in the Riccarton area. Riccarton's 101, Ides of March is 101, Christian's 101. I'll come back to the shooter's name, which was Brenton 101. He put out a manifesto called the Great Replacement 101. Again, the shooting was on the Ides of March, Assassins 101. But the two addresses were 101, which went with Ides of March, and 223. Tomorrow, August 11th, is the 223rd day of the year. So it still remains to be seen what they'll do tomorrow, but this incident right here could be another signal. Hopefully this is it. And do realize if this is it this weekend, they are going to sync up more events before the end of this year with this date. Absolutely. Just like how all year in the headlines they've been coding the same numbers pointing to this weekend, Tisha B'Av. And recall, last year on Tisha B'Av you had shootings on both days. So maybe this will be the one for today. Remains to see what they do tomorrow. But again, it's undeniable that all of this is contrived propaganda by the code, by the same repetitive code, by the numbers, and it goes on all day, every day. You know? Let me come back to... hold on, I got more information here on the shooter. We got a caller here. While we're taking this call, I want to show you something about the shooter in Christchurch. Caller? Caller, you're on. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, hey, okay, Zach, I got a question for you, man. So I think I left a question on your chat the other day, or the night or whatever, and I want to get your perspective on this. Okay, so I checked on the Gematria, the app, the website, about my name, and it sums up to 42, and my full name sums up to 58, and my birthday is on 119. What exactly would that mean? Do you have any idea?
Well, I mean, you have to look at the people in your life and just see if there's other people in your life that have those numbers. Oftentimes there is an organic side to the code, and a lot of times the people in your life have similar numbers. But I'd rather talk about the topic at hand rather than your personal decode right now. Did you have anything to add to this?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was just really concerned about it because I know there's negative things behind it. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. You have a good day.
All right, take care, man.
No problem.
Okay, so the shooter in Christchurch, when they first put out his name, it was reported as Brenton Harris Tarrant. And I said, look at his name, 134, like Tisha B'Av. And realized even before they put out his name, I was already showing how it was connected to this Tisha B'Av weekend, because we've been looking at this since September of 2018. And, again, here we are. They said that this man was inspired by the Oslo attacker. Now you get a mosque shooting outside of Oslo during Tisha B'Av. Caller.
Okay, Zach, what's up? This is Ezra. Dude, there's this video that this channel posted. It's called the Temple Institute, right?
Right.
And the video was posted on August 4th, and the video's title is Tisha B'Av, People Get Ready. And it's a 55-second clip. I highly suggest you go look at it.
The Temple Institute. All right, hold on. The Temple Institute. They're the ones who put out the red heifer too. So,
and the shekel. They're the people who put out the shekel.
The Temple Institute. Tisha B'Av, get ready.
Yes, I just saw that video today.
Okay, and it came out August 4th.
Yep.
So Zionism's 84. It's like Masonry.
This. All right, that's all I had, dude.
All right, thanks. All right, let me see. Temple Institute encouraged Jews to hope for third temple 3 days ago. People get ready. All right, this is the 55-second clip. Hopefully we can show this without getting a copyright strike. Let's see what this is all about. It's actually 54 seconds long. Now, again, so for those of you who don't realize that, a thumbnail will always add plus 1 second to the actual video. Now, what's interesting about 54 is Islam equals 54, and so does the festival that's taking place tomorrow. Again, let me get the name of that festival. Hold on, I just want to show you this before we even play the clip. Where's the name of the festival at? Eid al-Adha. So I just want to type this in real quick and show you this. Eid al-Adha. You see the 54 here? Islam is 54. Okay, so we get this 54-second clip. And again, that was also part of what was interesting about this weekend when we were talking about it last year, September 2018. There's 3 interesting things happening at one time. Tisha B'Av, to remember the destruction of the 2 temples. This feast, known as the Day of Sacrifice for the Muslims, the Feast of Sacrifice, Festival of Sacrifice. And it's also the time of the Hajj, the Muslim pilgrimage. But let's check out this video here, too, and see what it's all about.
It will happen in the end of days. The mountain of the Temple of Hashem will be firmly established as the head of the mountains, and it will be exalted above the hills, and all the nations will stream to it.
Okay, people get ready. I wonder if there's anything to that phrase. But again, right now you have a shekel on sale with Donald Trump's head on one side and the third temple on the other to raise money to build the third temple. So this is a plan that is in motion. People get ready. What's behind that phrase? All right, 154 is Temple Mount. Again, it's where they want to do it at. So people get ready as 154 like Temple Mount. And ritual sacrifice also sums to 154. Remember, it's the Muslim day of sacrifice. Ritual sacrifice is also 251, the 54th prime. And it's the Catholic Church that made this the contested site anyway. Jesuit Orders 54, the Masons within the Catholic Church. Caller?
Yeah, hey Zach, this is Tim Truth. Real quick, I just wanted to point out something. I was wondering if you've spotted this before. You know the septenary cipher where it goes up to 7, which is G, back down to 1, and then back up to 7 for T, back down to 1. You ever notice that looks a lot like the Golden Gate Bridge's design where it has the 2 columns and then the wires that run up and back down and up and back down?
You're just saying going up and down by counting that way?
Yeah. Anything to that, you think, or am I off?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you could also say that's like mountains and hills do that too. But yeah, it's an interesting observation.
All right, well, I'll let you go. I just wanted to put that in.
All right, I do appreciate it. So I think your connection broke up there. Okay, I want to show you this article too about how the Muslims are calling on their fellow Muslims to crowd Temple Mount and Al-Aqsa Mosque on tomorrow because they've heard that their site might be in danger. And I'll show you this here in a moment too about the music festival going on in San Francisco. Again, we just saw the thing about the foxes. Hold on, where did I put this article here? Actually, there's a few more things I'll show you. We can talk about the power outage in the UK as well. Hold on, where is the article I want? This is it. Okay. Waqf calls on Muslims to pray in Al-Aqsa on Tisha B'Av. According to the Army Radio, a Waqf document circulating in Arab media invited all Muslims to pray in mosques on the Temple Mount to prevent Jews from going up there on the Jewish holiday. And let's just read it. The Waqf called upon Muslims to pray in the mosques on the Temple Mount during the Jewish holy day of Tisha B'Av on Sunday, that's August 11th, to prevent Jews from going up there to pray. The Army Radio reported on Friday, 8/9. Remember, Religion 89. Again, religion's been put here to divide the people of the world. That's what the whole agenda's about. So we've been talking about all year why they would do such a thing. Again, the easiest way to divide people, religion. The Jerusalem Islamic Waqf, a branch of the Jordanian Ministry of the Sacred Properties, is the Muslim authority managing the Islamic holy sites on the Temple Mount, including the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. According to the Army Radio, a Waqf document circulating in Arab media invited all Muslims living in the Jerusalem area to go pray in the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock instead of in their local mosque to prevent Jews from going up during the holiday. The site, referred to in Hebrew as Har Habayat and in Arabic as Haram esh-Sharif, is considered holy by both religions. However, an agreement was reached after Israel conquered the Old City in 1967. Now, 1967 was 52 years ago, but don't forget to count 1967 as well. That would have been the first year, so this would be the 53rd year of the agreement. And again, just to think about that, in 1968, the second year of the agreement, from 1967 to 68 is 1 year. So anyway, this year is the 53rd year of the agreement. Tisha B'Av is 53 as well. Religion is also 53. And I might be mistaken. Is Temple Mount 53 as well? Yeah, Temple Mount's 53 too. And you know what? Speaking of which, Temple Mount today leaves 143 days left in the year. In the shooting at the mosque in Oslo, it comes on the day leaving 143 days left in the year. The name of the mosque equals 118, like how tomorrow's August 11th. Allowing Jordan to maintain civil administration over the area and restricting Jewish access to it. Jews and non-Muslims are allowed to visit the Temple Mount in limited hours and days, but they are not allowed to pray. In the past years, a movement calling for the right of Jews to pray on the Temple Mount has become more vocal, and attempts to pray there in spite of the prohibition have been more frequent. Starting on Saturday night, that's tonight, Tisha B'Av mourns the destruction of both the first and second Jerusalem temple in 586 BCE and 70 CE. On the day of Tisha B'Av, Jews observe mourning practices including fasting, sitting on the floor or low chairs, and reciting the book of Lamentations, in which the prophet Jeremiah laments the destruction of the city and the subsequent exile. This year, the end of Tisha B'Av coincides with the beginning of the Muslim holiday, the Festival of Sacrifice. Tensions on the Temple Mount often increase when Jewish and Muslim holidays overlap. And remember, this is 2019. 19. Chaos equals 19. Again, the Masonic agenda is order out of chaos. The Quran code is centered on the number 19. The Temple Mount is usually closed to non-Muslim visitors during Muslim holidays. And according to Israeli media sources, it is scheduled to be closed also on Sunday. However, some Jewish organizations have been appealing the Israeli authorities to allow Jewish visitors on the site during Tisha B'Av. One of them, the students of the Temple Mount, sent a letter to the Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan. Earlier this year, when the Israeli police decided that Jews would be allowed to enter the Temple Mount for Jerusalem Day, remember Donald Trump was in Jerusalem for Jerusalem Day exactly 811 days before August 11th. 811 is the 141st prime. Again, the Zionists want to build the third temple where Al-Aqsa Mosque is. 811, the 141st prime, Al-Aqsa Mosque 141. In spite of the holiday falling in the last days of Ramadan, violent riots broke out. Clashes between the Israeli police and some Muslim worshippers broke out earlier on Wednesday. On Friday morning, hundreds of Muslims gathered in the mosque on the temple for the Friday prayer, Palestinian media reported. Many prominent rabbis also forbid Jews from visiting the Temple Mount due to the concern that the visitors might step on sacred areas where people were not allowed to go when the Jerusalem temple still stood. So, it's not hard to see what's coming, whether it's tomorrow or not far off in the distant future. The only thing I could say about tomorrow is it might be too obvious, but then again, too obvious usually isn't obvious enough for the common person. Take 9/11, a lie that couldn't be any more obvious on an any more obvious date. Not to mention you had a whole brand new right-wing administration that just went by, the name a project for a new American century, and they'd put out a document calling for a new Pearl Harbor. And then you get buildings 1, 2, and 7 to collapse, like Pearl Harbor on 1/2/7, December 7th. I mean, so sometimes people say that. I say, yeah, it could be too obvious, but then again, what's too obvious to the sheep? Nothing. Now, another place that we're keeping an eye on is San Francisco tomorrow. And the reason why is because August 11th is a really important day in the history of San Francisco. The Golden Gate Bridge got the license for construction on that day. Alcatraz opened that day. Robin Williams died that day. Plus more. And tomorrow will happen to be the third day of their major music festival. We've seen some, order out of chaos events at festivals just in recent times. The name of the festival is Outside Lands Music and Arts Festival 118. The other thing about San Francisco is the Golden Gate Bridge. Of course, the Golden Gate is associated with the third temple, and it's not in reference to the Golden Gate Bridge, but anytime anybody hears Golden Gate, they're going to think of San Francisco. The Jewish prophecy is that at the time of the third temple, the Jewish Messiah will arrive through the Golden Gate. And Golden Gate's an astrological term. I need my expert Bobby to fill me in again, but there's something about astrology and the Golden Gate this weekend as well. So anyway, San Francisco, outside chance something goes down there this weekend. In the film Pacific Rim, the Golden Gate Bridge is destroyed on the date August 11th in that film. But just something to keep in mind. Again, they're honoring the 1989 World Series earthquake tomorrow at the San Francisco Giants game in San Francisco, in addition to the music festival. This festival will be at Golden Gate Park. The name of the festival also sums to 379, which is the 75th prime, order out of chaos 75, just like how they said the lone victim at the Mosque shooting was 75 years old. And Paul Simon will be performing. In 1968, he wrote the song Bridge Over Troubled Water. 1968 is the year the Quran Code was discovered, which is centered around 19. It's also the year the plan went into motion for September 11th, 2001. Again, 1968, the year World Trade Center construction began. The year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code, plus a whole lot more. So there's that. And speaking of San Francisco, just yesterday, this was one of CNN's top stories. He jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and survived. Now he's seeing his wish for a safety net come true. The man's name is Kevin Hines. Kevin Hines, which happens to equal 53 like Tisha B'Av. Strange that they would run this story the day before Tisha B'Av began. Talk about how he was traveling at 75 miles per hour when he hit the water. But on April 15th, they also put out the information about how he wanted safety nets. And what I forgot to post is safety nets equals 134. Tisha B'Av is 134. April 15th is the establishment date of San Francisco. And again, April 15th is the day Al-Aqsa Mosque burned and Notre Dame, which was exactly 118 days. Exactly 118 days before August 11th. So that's interesting. August 8th, we just got this story about how the foxes seen walking near the Western Wall was a symbol that the third temple is near. Foxes 666 like prophecy. Foxes is 66 like number of the beast. This was on August 8th, 88. Jewish is 88. 2 days before the start of Tisha B'Av, 258, Third Temple, Herod's Temple, Solomon's Temple, Jerusalem. August 11, 2019 is a date with 58 numerology. It's 58 days after Trump's birthday, again, who has his head on the shekel to have the Third Temple built. Of course, he was the winner of the rigged election here in the U.S., the 58th U.S. presidential election, after announcing he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower. And one more thing worth mentioning since we're here is there was a big power outage and London that went from August 9th into August 10th. Remember, we just covered the threats from ISIS. ISIS had plans to attack London, New York, San Francisco, those three cities. And when you just type out those three cities, London, New York, San Francisco, it equals 118. Also 134 like Tisha B'Av. Just covered that the other day. And, going into the start of Tisha B'Av, London was in chaos because of the power outage. And no doubt this was another ritual. No doubt they pulled the plug on purpose. Notice the energy watchdog Ofcom is demanding answers. Yeah, I'll show you just what a perfect ritual this is. The national grid is what I guess runs the power over there. National grid is 74, like London, like Masonic, like occult, like English, like Gematria, like the number that shows up all the time. The Guardian did a 74-second story on the national grid power going down. And again, chaos. This power outage began August 9th, 89. Chaos is 89. And it went into August 10th, the 222nd day of the year. Again, order out of chaos, 222. Ofcom wants answers. Ofcom's 89. Lessons to learn. Story here from Channel 4 in the UK, their media. Lessons to learn, what they emphasize in their headline. Lessons to learn's 188, like Bavarian Illuminati. August 9th, the 221st day of the year, the Bavarian Illuminati, 221. So, again, understand, all of this stuff is coordinated ritual by the numbers. It goes on every single day. And as I've educated about for years, when you get near the major Jewish holy days, you just see more curious business in the headlines without fail. So, if anybody else has anything to call in and ask about or share, the number is open. It's 509-731-0567. Again, 509-731-0567. If the sheep Derek Bros is out there, call in Derek Bros. I want to shave the wool, buddy. I'm embarrassed that you and I are going to be speaking at the same place in Philadelphia. I don't really want to share the stage with a big sheep. So if you're out there, give me a call. Anybody else is welcome to call in as well. Yeah, almost any time the president's on vacation, whether it's Trump or some other puppet, there's usually shenanigans going on in the world as well. Yeah, we talked about Epstein earlier today. It's another perfect ritual. We could talk about that again. There. Caller?
Yes. I have a question, or actually I have something to share about the 8/11 ritual, and I want you to take a look, if possible, at the Greek translation of the word Jerusalem. You go to Google Translate, and it'll show you the Greek translation, right, in Greek, but it also shows you the phonetic English translation, and you could take the phonetic English translation and put it in, and if you look, I believe it comes out to 118, and let's see, hold on, let me check it out here. 118 and 223 in reverse, triagonal and squares, I believe. Hold on.
Here, let me take a peek. So you're saying the gematria or the isopsephy of the Greek word for Jerusalem?
Right, like, so if you do the English to Greek translation.
Right, I got it up.
Jerusalem.
My video's behind yours. I'm about to do it real here, just to see what comes up. I've never done it before.
All right.
Let's see what we get here. 36, 126, 864. Are these the numbers?
Hold on. Let me turn down the volume here. All right, so you go to Jerusalem but you need to get the phonetic version of the Greek translation. So you got to get the phonetic version, which will be spelled out Jerusalem, and so you put that in, and it comes out in the reverse triagonal is 1,180, and reverse squares 2,223 or 2,230.
Okay.
And so that would match with the ritual tomorrow. But I was just checking it out.
How? What's the connection? I don't see it.
All right, so if you go to Google Translate and you type in Jerusalem and go to English to Greek, and then the phonetic translation will be below the Greek translation.
Okay. Yeah, but how do those numbers connect? First of all, they're really obscure ciphers that I'm not even sure are real ciphers, but I mean, how do those numbers have anything to do with tomorrow?
Well, 111, 223rd day of the year will be tomorrow, and August 11th. I mean, if you just drop the zero on those, it's basically the exact date for tomorrow. But I mean, we're looking at the Jewish cipher as well. We got 28, which is, I don't know how that matches up there, but I just noticed that the other day.
All right, I appreciate it, caller. Thank you so much. Caller? Caller? There's something wrong with your connection. Okay. Anyway. I don't know why we go to these complicated and obscure decodes to make a point. We already have just enough things to show. I mean, it's like, Derek Bros, who's going to be a speaker at Anarchadelphia next month. And I just want to show you something. Like, the simpletons just can't get their heads around the obvious. Here, let me take this call real quick, and then I'll show you what the simpletons struggle with. Caller?
We already have just enough things to show.
Caller, can you mute your video? All right, they hung up. So anyway, Derek Bros said that my work on Epstein's a coincidence and it proves nothing. And keep in mind, Derek Bros, he did a video today showing how the media showed a picture of Epstein and his skin looked a little blue, so to him that was proof that he really died. So this is the level of intelligence for Derek Bros. He shows the media's information and goes, yeah, that's real right there, that's what happened. And then he comes to my work and he goes, oh, this is just a bunch of, coincidental stuff. So, again, Epstein equals 34 like suicide. From his trial date to his suicides 34 days later. The trial was on a date with 34 numerology. And somebody even pointed out, who has a brain, that Epstein's inmate number, if you added up, even sums to 34. Just showing you what a coordinated ritual this is. Plus, you see how they have the El Chapo in emphasis? Almost every time there's news about El Chapo, it's 33. If you don't count the span of days for Epstein's death from the trial date to the date he died, it's 33 days later or a span of 34 days. But anyway, the point I'm making is morons, they think everything is a fucking coincidence. And I said to Derek Bros, I said, do you think this is a coincidence too, that Jeffrey Epstein, using the alphabetic order, is 163, and he died 163 days before his birthday? And his comment was, well, just whatever, keep plugging in different ciphers and just making it fit how you want. So you got to understand, most people are fucking retarded, so you need to keep this as simple as possible, which I continue to tell you guys. And then you're calling in doing a decode like, if you translate this from Greek to this, and then you use the reverse trigonal method and take the number 2203. I mean, it's just like, do you really think that's going to appeal to anyone? We're already having trouble getting through just the most obvious, basic, straightforward shit. Common sense, people.
Yes, bro.
Caller?
What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Steve Pachenik confirms that the Epstein demise was a hoax.
Sure, of course it was. The whole thing was a hoax.
Total hoax. Total hoax. They did it. He called it, really good video. He has a nice short video, and it's called Paradoxical Intent. The intent was to get people to speculate about his demise and that it was a conspiracy. Thus, you pile a whole bunch of BS on top of it to confuse people, befuddle them. When all along, you and I know that he's probably in Tel Aviv right now.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
No.
Here, just to remind people about what a hoax this was, I showed on day one, they reported that he was arrested by something that I'm not even sure is real. The FBI NYPD Crimes Against Children Task Force, which equals 178 on the day leaving 178 days left in the year. And I showed that to Derek Bros, too, the same idiot I'm talking about, and he goes, that could just be a coincidence. It's like, God, these people are fucking dumb, man.
No. You do that much work for Mossad, they will take care of you. Simple as that.
Exactly. And then the other thing I noticed about this Derek Brosh character is I said, think about it. It's Tisha B'Av to remember the Jewish, tragedies. You got this Jewish man dead from a suicide. And he thought that was a coincidence, too. It's just like, dude, either you're a shill or you are fucking retarded, man. But he's definitely a goyim. And, again, people like Derek Bros make me believe that the Talmud is the truest spiritual text in the world. So I just got to emphasize that.
Good work. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
All right.
I'm leaning more towards something happening in the Middle East than in San Francisco now.
Well, that's what I've been saying too. I mean, the whole time that's been the main thing. So
I just don't see. I see San Francisco's more symbolic.
Right.
I just don't see anything happening. But hey, you never know. So.
Yeah, you don't know. So, all right, appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, take care. Yeah. All right, the line's open if anybody else wants to call in, but yeah, it's just, it's either you're a fucking moron or you aren't. And sadly, the majority of people in this world are fucking morons. It's just pathetic. If you think the image of Jeffrey Epstein put out with a little bit of faint blue skin is evidence that he died, then you probably never heard of Photoshop or FaceApp. Think you can make somebody's face look a little faint in face or a little blue in FaceApp. Okay. Yeah, it is early August 11th, so we'll see. We'll see what the headlines bring for Jerusalem and Israel. What's up, man?
Hey, nothing much. I just wanted to agree with you a little bit on whenever I advertise this stuff. I must have an anger problem because there's always those few people out there that automatically know that the work is irrelevant and it's a coincidence right off the bat without looking at anything. By the time they woke up this morning, Zach, they know it's all bullshit because they're the smartest guy in the room, and they just want to backhand them so bad.
Yeah, most idiots think they're real smart. That's a fact.
Yeah, people are just so smart, they know everything, I wanted to change the subject a little bit. I have an admin named Yenzi that lives in Switzerland that's always been wanting to call you. She talked to you a long time ago. I guess she's the one that woke you up to the Pacific Rim thing. Do you remember her?
Somebody did pass that along to me, so yeah, it was probably them.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, she just went. She did an Ocean's 11 little decode on Daily Dose of Gematria. It's right at the top if you wanted to check that out.
What?
Ocean's 11, remember that movie back in 10, 15 years ago?
Okay,
2001,
yeah.
Ocean's 11 in 2001.
Okay.
You can probably see where she's going there. She's got a pretty good decode there, man. She stumbled across some things. Just looks like some in-your-face stuff. I don't know if you want to do it now or later or whatnot, but I wanted you to check that out and see what you thought of it.
Okay, let me see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Right,
see.
browse it over real fast and see. A lot of it's making sense.
So how do I find it here?
Oh, just go to Daily Dose and scroll down. It was one of the last posts. Maybe it's the second post or the third post down or something. You can't miss it. You'll see a big 11 and yeah, she's kind of got it synced to 9/11. I read it real fast, but I probably should read it again myself.
I guarantee you I can miss it because I'm already not seeing it. But all right, I'll keep looking for it. Oh, there it is. All right, I'll check this out. Let me take the next call, and then I will check out this post next. I appreciate it, Rich.
Absolutely, bro.
Thanks, man. Caller?
Yo, Zach, this is Lawrence, man. I got a casual observance that I'd like to share with you.
Please.
Yeah, man. No big deal. I just been chilling out here in, we'll say, northern Michigan, and I was out on the porch the other day with one of my guests, and we had the binoculars on a tripod, and we were observing the planet Jupiter. And, my guest asked me something or another, and I mentioned about how the planet Saturn's really cool to look at, too, but normally you have to use a telescope. I said, as a matter of fact, I think that's it right there. I'm not really a pro astronomer, and so I set the optics on it, and sure enough, I was able to identify it by certain characteristics that it has, and I noticed that it was close to Jupiter. And then after talking a little bit, because I didn't really have my mind in gear in this way, but I noticed that also the planet Mars was in the same, I would say, proximal area of the sky. And I'm not really, I can't really say that there's a conjunction or an alignment, but normally when you casually look at planets, they're all spaced out. Like one will be below the horizon, you gotta wait for later on. But I noticed that the planets are close together, and maybe at some particular time in the evening or day, they may be, quote, lined up or something. So that may be going on as well regarding this event that you're addressing lately.
Sure. Yeah, I know astrology is a huge piece of this, so very possible.
Yeah, me too. And I'm not a pro on it, but I was just out there with my binoculars on a tripod, and I said, shit, how often do you really get Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn, which are really, apart from Venus, very important planets to consider with a lot of these things in a very small, choked field, I mean, there may be some type of alignment that I'm not aware of that another caller that calls in is really a lot more on point with, but something like that may be going on as well to further bolster the significance of this date and time, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's all I had to contribute. I don't want to take up too much time, and I thank you for your work and all the great content you provide for us.
Well, you're very welcome. Great observations. I appreciate your calling. You have a good day.
Hey, man, I keep digging into your book, too, and your book is the best. I got to say, I don't mind saying that I have a pretty badass library, but your book is like a real piece of standout candy. that lives in my little library. You know what I mean? So thank you very much for your work, dude.
By the way, you're someone who turned the book into a physical copy. What did it cost you to print it out?
$40, man.
Okay.
For a hardcover, and it turned out perfect.
Awesome. Yeah.
The only thing that I can work around it, but the only thing is that I printed the first edition, which doesn't have page numbers. But that's a quirk I'm willing to deal with, and it's really not a big issue, you know.
I gave you the version that has page numbers too, right?
I may have that, because when we talked earlier, remember when I was producing it through Lulu, if they still do it or not, I'm not sure. But you gave me a version 1 and a version 2, and the version 2 existed as kind of a redacted form to dodge censorship, so I opted to print the first version.
There you go.
I actually printed 3 hard copies. One is a reading copy, one is a keepsake, and then one is a gift if any person should arise that I would feel that I would gift that to, then I'd have the opportunity to gift something
Very cool.
magnificent like that to them.
Very cool. Well, thanks a lot for the call and for doing that, man. Awesome.
All right, thank you, man. Maybe that caller that knows all about astrology will follow up and contribute and back this up, because I see that the planets are all close together.
All right. Yeah, maybe he will call in. All right.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. All right, thanks a lot, man.
All right, awesome. Take care.
Take care, and I wish you well.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
So I had this, the caller prior mentioned how somebody in the community did their own decode on the movie Ocean's 11, and this came out right after September 11th on Pearl Harbor Day. And again, the buildings that fell on 9/11 were 1, 2, and 7. And yeah, it looks like they're right on. It looks like what was encoded in the film are the same crucial numbers that were involved in September 11th. And that's how they do it. It's just like the film Monsters, Inc., that kids movie that came out right around September 11th. When the monsters all come out walking in a line, you can see the clock behind them, and it's 9/11. I mean, why else would they do that around the time of September 11th? They just got to put it in our faces. Yeah, Chigozie Truth's another great channel, very true. The caller who just called in said so that's what you can do with my book, because my book's an ebook and instant download. It's $5, but the book's almost 800 pages long. You can go to, oh no, why did I just forget the name? You can go to that website that he just mentioned that's escaping my mind right now, and they can turn it into a physical copy of a book for you and send it to you. He said it costs $40 to make it a hardcover. So that's actually still not a bad price. I mean, if you went to a bookstore and bought a brand new hardcover book that was 800 pages, it probably would cost at least $40. Hardcover books aren't cheap, especially when they're that long. Okay. Here, let me scan, make sure there isn't any other news stories I should talk about that I covered on my blog here in recent days. But, today, just more undeniable evidence, unless you're a brain-dead moron, of how relevant this research is. Called out the date March 15, 2019 and October 2018. Ended up being a mass shooting. The day it happened, I said, look at how it's synced up with Tisha B'Av 2019. And again, the shooter in Christchurch on March 15th, supposedly, he celebrated the Oslo bomber, and now here we are on Tisha B'Av, and you got an Oslo mosque shooting. It's just sick. It's just sick. And it also reminds that, it's not just the Zionists that are responsible. Obviously, the people at this mosque are participants. And again, Masonry includes all religions. At the end of the day, it's people who are high up in this Masonic cult organization that orchestrate, this propaganda, these divide and conquer tactics. And Derek Bros the Sheep's out here. Hold on. I do not know who's calling me on my main line. I don't have that number. But Derek Bros the Sheep, I should show you his comments just to show you how dumb he is. But he's like, you just pick and choose whatever ciphers you want to use to make your picture fit, which isn't true at all. Again, for years I just used primarily one cipher, which is this one right here. But then once we realized that all 4 of these ciphers, what we call the base ciphers, are in use every single day, we understood this is the code. This is how they do it. Took 3 years of observation to figure out the reverse ciphers and that they're using those. But look at this. More with the Jeffrey Epstein death today. Today leaves 143 days left in the year. CNN emphasizes raises serious questions, which equals 143, like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And I forgot to put that up here, but again, let's just do it one more time. Raises serious questions is 143. In that same cipher, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is 143. And again, story comes on August 10th, the day leaving 143 days left in the year. Comes on a date with 57 numerology. Scottish Rite's 57. Comes 57 days after Donald Trump's birthday. Donald Trump, buddy, former neighbor with Epstein, hand around the shoulder, big devil grin on his face. 57 days after his birthday. His birthday is June 14th. June 14th is the 165th day of the year. Notice Scottish Rite, 165.57. Donald Trump also sums to 159 like Scottish Rite. It's not hard to see. DC's named after the Scottish Rite Freemason George Washington. Caller.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, what's up, man? My name is Nick.
What's up, Nick?
I'm from New York.
Yeah.
Not much, man. I've been listening to you for a while. Wanted to call for a while. It's my first time calling. I didn't really have much. What I really wanted to ask was, I don't believe anything that comes from the mainstream media like ever. It's probably been, I'm 41. It's probably been like my entire life. I texted you a couple times in the chat and said stuff like my birthday is February 23rd, and I guess I would be perfect to get set up for something, but I'm not a celebrity or anything like that, and I noticed 223 is coming up, Tisha Bob and all this stuff, but I haven't believed anything for a long time, and I never heard you mention like something that the person that not the first person that got me on was, but one of the first truth seekers that was a victim of being a truth teller and stuff was Bill Cooper, and I never heard you mention Bill Cooper, and I want to know like if you ever did anything about Bill Cooper like years ago. And I heard Bill Cooper mention Gematria years ago. He never did like the decodes like you. I don't do the decodes, but the decodes helps me prove it to people who believe the government is telling the truth. I never believed this shit. It was always a joke to me. But now, like with your work, I can say, all right, they're trying to say this is what they're really up to, But I just wanted to ask you about that. Have you ever talked about Bill Cooper? Did you ever see any of his work? Did you ever read The Pale White Horse? Stuff like that. And talk about his death and stuff like that. And I don't expect you to be worried, but I went to jail before for I got set up by the cops. When you talk about Jewish people and stuff like that, I'm a victim of that because that's pretty much the landlords right now. And the rent. I'm in New York City. The rent for a studio apartment. If you're not getting a voucher from the government, I heard you speak about that before, like how if you're coming from China or India, you could get a voucher for some reason. And living here in New York, if you're just working and you could be making $20 an hour and you're paying like $2,000 a month for a studio. So it's like everybody here is like you have to. For me myself, it's like I have to be more affiliated. I have to go to the government and beg for assistance, even though I work and try to save my money. But that's all I want to call and say. Thanks a lot for your work, man.
All right, appreciate it.
You. And last thing I did want to say too. I did want to say this. As far as like trying to predict the future, sometimes it's like sometimes we could be. I don't believe shit. I always thought that everything is rigged. I don't know why athletes get this much fucking money while I'm stepping over garbage and stuff like that. At the same time, I'm like, I don't know how we're going to stop this shit, man. I think we're on the path headed for destruction. And, I don't know. I would like to be more affiliated with people like you, and maybe this could grow and having some type of escape plan or something like that, because this is heading doing what they do. FBI, all these people. It's like people. All of this stuff is almost an invitation, like to join the Masons, to be a prostitute, to worship the devil. It's not like, oh, don't do it. It's like, if you want to be successful, this is what you need to do. And it's like people like me. I guess I have a little bit of I don't even want to call it pride. What's the other? You know the word I'm talking about. What word am I talking about? When you have some type of, you got some. I guess pride is a good word. I got some morals. I got to look at myself in the mirror. I guess people say sell out to the system and stuff like that. And you're talking about these guys that they's questioning your work and stuff like that. They should be trying to, even if they're not as smart as you and can't decode the work, to just believe anything coming out of mainstream media. It's like you say, you got to be a fucking moron. And I don't even know how you even have why. I got a son. My son is 16. My son tells me he laughs at people. He's like, dude, he tells me about guys in his school that are dressing like girls. He's like, what the hell's going on, Dad?
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say. But mention Bill Cooper. Have you ever mentioned
He's
Bill
in
Cooper?
my book. I was going to tell you he's in my book.
Cool.
Bill Cooper.
Huh?
His death's in my book.
Cool. I just never heard you mention him, man. And I always think, like, he should still get some props. I don't know what really happened. Sorry, there's the siren going by.
I hear it.
I know he's not around anymore, and he was the guy who, talked about 9/11 before it happened, and it seemed like he was actually making some moves. I don't even know who gets taken out, how much power you need to be taken out, and stuff like that. But it just seems like, I don't know, man. I've been put in jail and like that. I'm probably more afraid of jail than to just get shot in my fucking face. And the people are talking about mass shootings and shit,
Sure.
I'm like, just put me out of my goddamn misery.
Sure. So real quick, while I got you on the phone about Bill Cooper, since you asked, his death is in my book. He died on the date with 38 numerology. Death, murder, killing, R.I.P. They're all 38. He died November 6, 2001, supposedly shot to death. He died in Eager, Arizona, which equals 116. He died on the date 11/6, November 6. So he was in the right location for this death. And he died on the date even 55 days left in the year. Sacrifice is 55. And Bill Cooper equals 55. And Bill Cooper also sums to 107 like shooting. He was 58 years old, that big Freemasonry number. And again, it just makes me wonder. I mean, he couldn't have gone out any more perfectly. I just think Bill Cooper put out.
They exposed Alex Jones too, and I'm like, man, I don't know any. Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. Would they take me out by the numbers? Would they take you out by the numbers? I have no fucking clue. It feels like, you could get that, man.
Well, it's true. It's true.
All this technology,
It's true. So, yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for your work, man. And it's crazy, man, because it sounds like this. It seems like like you say, people believe in things. It looks like a lot of people are believing in the dark forces instead of whatever truth is left out there,
Right.
Great. All right, Zach, man. Love you, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Take care, man. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Yeah, if you guys haven't read my book, like almost everyone's deaths in here. Aaliyah, I got everybody. Lisa Left Eye Out, Lopez, everybody. They're all in here. So, Aaliyah, she died right around the time of September 11th. Her death was synced up with the movie Queen of the Damned. So, anyway. Here, you guys just even nonsensical bullshit stories are by the numbers. The Yankees GM was supposedly in a situation yesterday where the police had their guns drawn on him. Look at this. This happened August 9th, right? Look at this. The story points out that he was in a white Jeep Wrangler, right? They tell you that? Look at this. This happened August 9th, white Jeep Wrangler 89, Wrangler 98. August 9th can be written 8/9 or 9/8. His full name, Brian McGuire Cashman, 89. This happened August 9th, the 221st day of the year. Brian Cashman, 221. His birthday is July 3rd. A date can be written 3/7 like 37. It happened 37 days after his birthday. Yankees, 37. I'm sure there's even more to it, but it's just, if it's in the news, it is bullshit by the numbers. And, you got to be a Derek Bros type of moron to think all of this stuff's a coincidence every day. So, about to make a demand that if I'm going to be at Anarchadelphia, this guy's not going to be there. I don't want to be on the stage with a fucking moron. Goodness. Caller? People keep calling and hanging up instantly. I don't know what's up with it. I don't know if it's a phone glitch or if it's like a form of trolling. Caller? Caller?
Yeah. Yeah, Zach, this is Flowey from Costa Rica.
Hi man, what's going on?
Yeah, so the day has come, August 10, and it started strong with Jeffrey Epstein suicide.
Right, and now a shooting at a mosque in Norway, just like how the Christchurch shootings were synced up with this weekend, and that shooter supposedly, you know, he liked Anders Breivik, the Oslo attacker, and then the mosque.
White supremacist, man, we were expecting that.
And the name of the mosque shot. The name of the mosque shot today sums to 118.
Well, no surprise, right? No surprise. So I looked at Epstein's eclipse ritual for August 10, and you know that's in astrotheology always an interesting thing to do, looking back and forward to the total lunar eclipse and solar eclipse in the past and future. And that's interesting, man. He died 66 years old in 202 days. And 202, of course, started the whole riddle about the weekend in the first place, as you looked into the Red Heifer story last year, right?
Right.
But interestingly, it's 202 days to the last blood moon as well, which interestingly happened on Epstein's 66th birthday, January 20th, and January 21st, depending on where you were in the world. 20th in America, 21st in Europe.
And blood moons are considered prophetic to the Jewish people, so that's interesting.
Right. And then also total solar eclipses, 202 in English ordinal, and of course Red Heifer in the Jewish cipher. And then looking to the last total solar eclipse, which was just in July, that was 39 days. Eclipse is 39, blood moon is 39, and in Hebrew Gematria we have Golden Gate Bridge, 39 in Hebrew reduction. But it gets better. In the future, and this is also true for tomorrow, we have 492 days to the next total solar eclipse on December 14, 2020. And 492 in the English Sumerian cipher, which in my studies have been shown next to the Jewish cipher, the most significant one, because they have these high numbers and there's tons of mystical stuff connected to that. And 492 is Tisha B'Av. And here we are on the first day of Tisha B'Av. Also 492 is Black Sabbath. And here we are on the first day of Tisha B'Av, which is called Black Sabbath. Yeah.
That's a good observation.
Then we have Odo Abkeo, Armageddon, and Strike, also all in the English Sumerian, 492. But it gets better. Looking forward to the next blood moon, which is on May 26, 2021, that is a span of 656 days. And 656 in Greek ordinal. So in the Greek alphabet is Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and abominations of the earth. So that's pretty crazy, but there's more. So there was a span. So this is not true today, and therefore not true for the Epstein sacrifice. But for tomorrow, all these numbers I just mentioned are true tomorrow because I didn't count the span for them. So tomorrow they are the span. But this number I just mentioned, 656, is not true tomorrow. Tomorrow we get a straight 654 days to the next blood moon, and 654 on the Jewish cipher is satanic ritual. the Fibonacci sequence, the prime number, all in the Jewish cipher. And then in the English Sumerian, we have child sacrifice, fitting for Epstein, isn't it? We have Los Angeles on the 118th meridian west. We have St. Francis, whose Franciscan order is now in the 811th year, and who's the name giver for so Pope Francis and San Francisco.
And St. Francis of Assisi equals 118.
Exactly, and of course there's this entire riddle of him singing Psalm 142, August 11 leaves 142 days in the year. In the Old Latin Bible, this was Psalm 141, and 811 is the 141st prime number, right? And of course, much more to him alone. But more interestingly, Zach, if we look at Revelation 8:10, and today is 8:10, where it says, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. If you take that into Gematria, full reduction cipher 654. Just like the blood moon ritual, just like all these numbers I just mentioned. Fitting for the day numerology, Revelation 8:10 on August 8:10. How perfect is that? But I have one more nugget here, because after I watched one of the recent 7711 videos, another decoder who does amazing work, who looks forward to December for a Wormwood nuclear event, he checked out that the color of the Boeing, the presidential Boeing, what is it called, Air Force One, has this special code, a special wavelength number, and that made me thinking about the Golden Gate Bridge, and I checked up the color, which is international orange, which is also used for NASA suits, and it has 630 nanometer wavelength. 630 in Sumerian, English Sumerian, is blood moon, and Klippoth, the demonic shadow side of the Tree of Life. It's also Satoshi Nakamoto, the supposed founder of Bitcoin. But it's more interesting is Charles Manson died 630 days before August 11, and Charles Manson yesterday was the 50th anniversary of the Manson family murders in Los Angeles, where they killed Roman Polanski's wife.
Right.
Which was a total Golden Gate eclipse ritual. I made a post about that video. It's pretty crazy. So 630, and now get this. At what time did they find Jeffrey Epstein this morning? At 6:30.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
So that's really crazy. And then there's more to the 6:30. Yesterday we had in England a power cut.
Right.
A UK power cut, which started at 5 p.m. 500, that's the age of the Phoenix. We are in the year of the Phoenix. Leonardo da Vinci is 500 years dead. The Phoenix lives for 500 years, dies, and get born again out of his ashes. Right? All these 5, 6, 7 codings in the San Jacinto Monument. The Jewish cipher 567 is Dark Phoenix, like the movie. Right? And much more Phoenix stuff. And the power cut ended mostly at 5:40, which is in the English Sumerian as Golden Gate, and it was ultimately ended at 6:30. So that's pretty crazy, I think.
Indeed, yeah, great research.
That's it from me. Those are the eclipse rituals. So it stays interesting. One more thing. At the Outside Lands Arts and Music Festival next to the Golden Gate Bridge right now, in the Golden Gate Park, we have tomorrow the headliner, Paul Simon, singing Bridge Over Troubled Waters. We know this for half a year now. But did you check out his Jewish Gematria? 500 for the Phoenix.
He wrote that song in 1968 too, which I find interesting.
Oh yeah, it was 74 years on the day before Donald Trump was elected. It was produced. And 74 days, no, it wasn't days, I think it was months or weeks, I don't get it together quite right now, probably months. And it was also exactly 74 months before he came into office, when it was published. So it perfectly synced with Donald Trump, both of his numbers. So that's really crazy. Anyhow, I'm dropping out here now to let others the chance to spread some knowledge here.
Well, great work, friend. I'm going to switch over right now because we got the astrology guy on. Thank you so much, Floyd. Great work. Keep it up. Caller? Oh, let me boost your volume here. All right, you're on.
Hey, you still doing a live stream?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you want to know something about astrology or something?
Again, people want to hear that Golden Gate piece. What's going on this weekend with the Golden Gate and astrology?
Oh, man, okay. Well, tonight the moon's going to be in the Golden Gate. It's already happened in Jerusalem. It was at 2:19 a.m. And I just noticed something else interesting I want to talk about real fast. The headline right now is Epstein's suicide raises serious question.
Right.
Well, that's Sirius is rising right now. Raises Sirius. And it's rising for the latitude, for Washington, D.C.'s latitude, which is 39 degrees north.
The star Sirius. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And so when Trump visited the Western Wall, it was 522. That's the heliacal setting of Sirius for San Francisco. It's already risen for San Francisco, but yeah, I guess the other Golden Gate thing is the fact that when the Golden Gate Bridge opened, the moon passed the Golden Gate the night before the opening ceremony, and the official song was "There's a Silver Moon on the Golden Gate" was the official song for the opening ceremony of the Golden Gate. And that's just for today. There's other stuff I could talk about with the Golden Gate, but yeah, I didn't want to. I don't want to take up too much of your time or anything.
Oh, you're not taking up too much time. Share anything else you want. But yeah, that's a really great observation because they coded 143 into that headline, like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and in the Scottish Rite headquarters in D.C., they have the document talking about what happens with the star Sirius on this day, August 10th. So.
Oh, nice, yeah. And I actually put out a little video just maybe about 20 minutes ago, and the article that I used had the same date as today. It was August 10th, but it was 2016. So it's also interesting. Sometimes Sirius is referred to as the star of Isis, which I think if you write that out, it sums to 888, I think, in the extended cipher.
Huh.
But yeah, I guess the other thing with the Golden Gate is I'm watching the date November 19th, which that's when Jupiter will be in the Golden Gate, because Jupiter comes out of retrograde tomorrow or early in the morning, I believe it is. And that was you had the whole ritual with the first images of a black hole. It had everything to do with Jupiter. When they released those images, Jupiter began its retrograde motion. That was April 10th of this year. And so it's coming out of retrograde for Tisha B'Av. But it'll finally make it to the Golden Gate on November 19th. But the other thing I want to throw out there is September 14th, Anarchadelphia. If you're using heliocentric astrology, that's the date for Jupiter being in the Golden Gate as well. That's the harvest moon and everything, 9/14. And I've also been looking at Venus quite a bit. Venus will be in the Golden Gate on Halloween with heliocentric astrology. The last time I was in the Golden Gate, this is interesting, it was March 20th, and that's when Disney acquired Fox. It was on March 20th of this year. And it seemed like there's something else going on with Halloween. Can't think of it right now. But yeah, lots going on with the stars. Wasn't really prepared to give you a whole lot. Somebody messaged me on Messenger and they said, like, hey, they're talking about you on the live stream and the whole Golden Gate thing. I guess, with the Golden Gate being, if you're using the ecliptic, it's at 267 degrees with the of date and 266 degrees using the J2000, which I believe both numbers are relevant because Philadelphia has the 267 area code, and of course Pope Francis, 266 Pope. You have that going on. And And yeah.
Well, great work as always. I appreciate it, friend.
Yeah, man, I could go on all day about the Golden Gate, you know.
Yeah, you got great information. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Have a good one, man.
Bye.
All right, take care. All right, Truth Seeker, I'm going to wrap it up. Been on here long enough, but just more evidence of how the New World Order agenda truly operates from continent to continent, and how all of these news stories they lay down are nothing more than riddles. And when you know the numbers, you can see what's coming next. So we'll leave it there. Or hold on. We got one last caller. Caller? Caller, are you there? You're on.
Hey, Zach, what's up? It's Eric, KOS 137.
Okay.
Hey, dude, I'm just calling. I know you probably are familiar with Polarization Nation Media. Have you heard of that channel?
Well, he's only made about 5,000 videos about me, so...
Huh?
He's only made about 5,000 videos about me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he just made a video, I guess, not too long ago, talking a bunch of shit, but, he was saying basically something about calling the IRS and all kinds of crap on you for Patreon money laundering or some crap. Anyway, I wasn't sure if you followed him because most of the time with haters and stuff, I just kind of forget about them. But I thought I would give you a little heads up that if you get a call from somebody, that's why.
All right, I'm not worried about it. It's all good, man.
Yeah, all right, bro. Well, I can't really hear you that good. It's cutting out really bad. But anyway, you take care, all right?
All right, take care. Later, man.
Later.
See you. Yeah, I don't worry about the trolls and shills, so... Alright, you guys, we'll wrap it up now. Somebody said, sent you a link in Super Chat from 223. Super Chat. Alright, from February 23rd. I'll have to figure out how to go back and find that. Alright, welcome everybody. You guys have a good rest of your day, your evening, and hopefully tomorrow's not too eventful. So, until next time, Truth Seeker.